So here's kind of an overall look at what we're working with at this point. Definitely that big low in the back is going to be the one that's much harder to deal with than anything on this vehicle. Here's a nice natural shot of it. You can see here I actually removed all of the hardware. Should have done this at first. I got that Dent guy in me that just says, don't take anything apart. But really, I just should have just removed all of this to begin with. But now I have caught up. Hasn't hurt any of our repair process. I will be drilling a hole back here. I don't want to go through any of them existing holes. That's where the plastic from the light fits in, and I don't want to mangle any of them. But yes, that right there is the impact point, and we're going to actually be able to get right on it now that we've detrimmed this quarter panel. And that is exactly what we're going for here. Same setup here, guys. Got the hydraulic pump hooked up. Got it right here on this the strong part of the panel here. And it is the teeth that I have, and that's kind of sitting around a bolt that's on that panel, and got it angled in just right to put over the top of that hole. So now I'm actually zeroing in right on that hole there, and that's where I want my big push. You can see here little by little, I'm pushing, 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 and you'll start to see some nice movement. There we go. That's exactly what I was looking for. A nice little tension spot right there on that deepest impact point. This thing is like a giant soft tip is what I'm amazed. I mean, it's like they give you this big rubber tip on that end that was like it was made to do paintless dent removal. So if you can imagine having a giant soft tip on the end of your tool, and then having an incredible hawk moment and being able to just move things that you were never able to move before. I mean, that's why I say to be careful with this thing, because the power of these things are absolutely, I've never seen anything like it as far as metal movement. So there we go. I'm going to go ahead and put a tension hold again right on the deepest impact point. Start doing a little bit of that lower crown work. Them tension holds make all the difference. They really make the metal flow away from wherever you decide to locate them. So we're going to go ahead and do some more Porta Power work here. And going to be going into some of the different low spots throughout this panel. And this right here, that panel right to the edge, I'm going to show you exactly how far I can go in and get this thing. Because a lot of it is hidden underneath, like smashed underneath a wall that closes up till it gets to the quarter panel. So this is my deepest point with this tool, with the Porta Power, with the big rubber tip on it. That's as far as I can go. But I'm going to use it because I'll tell you, if we had to do it with a tool, you can risk just chopping it up on the way out. And I want as much metal movement as possible. Basically, as little as work as possible is what I'm looking for when doing this. So the faster you are, the more money that you can make, and the more jobs that you can repair on a daily basis. And that's really what I'm trying to teach you here when it comes to this bulk metal movement. Is that the more metal that you can move at one time on a dent like this, the faster the outcome. Big pressure holds on that rear right up near the wheel well there. And you can see that I still have a ridiculously deep spot there. But I was definitely able to swell out about half of it. Still putting some pressure there. I'm trying to sink it in as deep as possible. So there we go. Right here's Alan again. This is our setup. You can do this with one person. You just got to pump it a little bit to get it wedged into place, check your places, step outside the car, and do some of the pumping yourself. Now, the only reason I have my hand inside the car while working this Porta Power is because Alan it's not overpowering it. I mean, we're just pushing these a little bit. There is the occasion where you really need to overpower something, And at that point, I would recommend not having any bodily parts anywhere near it. We've actually jacked up a car while we were straightening out the taillight. We had the taillight out, and that overhang underneath the taillight, it was bent down, and we were trying to straighten it out, and we've had the car completely off the ground with this thing. So just like any other jack, it's very powerful. But you can see here, I'm going into some of the little shallows throughout the panel and just getting that bulk metal movement. So my hand's in there, and I'm just taking it to where I need. I'm telling Alan to pump it so far, and then as soon as it gets to the point to where I need it, I go ahead and let him back off. So I kind of went through this thing and pushed out all the little lows as far as I possibly could, saving a lot of work. So now we're going to try this. I call this the jaws of life. And we're going to actually try to wedge it back in that dogleg area, or the rear part right up towards the end of the rear quarter and the wheel well, the part that we can't get this tool to. We're going to try to wedge that back there, and what happens whenever you pump this thing up, it actually opens up. You know, one of the things that we've had with this, you do have to put some tape around it to protect it from poking or gouging the panel. You can see Alan just connected it there, threaded it in, and see it just like opens up while he pumps it. And this thing is very, very powerful as well. I mean, this thing's a beast for sure. And there's a lot of times you can find a spot where you can use it. And now what Alan's putting on there is Gorilla Tape, essentially adding a soft tip to the end of this tool. And we're wrapping it up pretty good there, you can see. I mean, it has some squishiness there where we can actually move the metal without peckering it up. You know, that's the key. So there you go. You can see the inside. That's the wall that we're fighting right there. And this thing, we're going to actually wedge it down in there to place. And going to close it there and just wedge it in right behind it. And as soon as we get it into place, we're going to use it and pump it and open it up to move the dent. Now you can kind of imagine some of the spots you could use this. So we're getting a little bit there. We're in a little bit further. What I found in this specific location, however, was that I was moving it out, but it was kind of wanting to eject itself out at the same time. So, but hey, you know what? You do not get anywhere if you don't try new techniques. And this definitely saved us a little bit of time. I mean, I'm going to get to the point where it's actually lifting, as it lifts the edge off, actually as it lifts the round part of the dent off of that inner wall, we're able to inject it slightly further each and every time. Kind of reminds you of at the beginning when we used that basketball. We were just trying to eject it off the inner wall a little bit so we could begin using our Porta power and using it effectively. And now you can see there. See, it's getting just a little bit closer. Kind of took what would have been trying to take something that looks like you could fit a little football in it into something you can fit maybe a little baseball in it. I mean, every little bit helps for sure on a repair like this. And it definitely did not hurt taking a couple minutes to set this thing up and get it in there and try it out. So there we go. And right here is going to be an access hole. I do think on this one to have my head down low to be able to sit there comfortably while I pick this thing clean is a really good thing for this repair. The owner would absolutely, for a cleaner repair, agree with that. So that's what we did. So now you can see here, I'm actually going through with a soft tip. You can think of it like the Porta Power was our giant soft tip and was making huge metal movements. And now we're taking a smaller soft tip and making smaller metal movements on all the little bitty lows that were in between. So we got the bulk, the large, the biggest amount just molded out with that giant soft tip. And it's going to leave little ripples and waves in between. So we're going to use our smaller soft tip and just iron all of them out best possible. Now, I'm not asking you at this point to finish. I mean, this is not a finishing stage in this damage. I'm going to call this getting it in the rough. So we want to get the general shape back before we even think about finishing this dent. I mean, we're definitely always planning ahead, and that's why we're using a soft tip so we don't make any irreversible marks on the panel. Yet, you want to take this thing, I talk about this a lot, you want to bring up this damage with balance, nice and symmetrical. That's why we go through the stages of using the basketball, then using the Porta power. The basketball moves much, much more metal. We used it in the location that we needed it, and then we use the Porta power, moves a ton of metal as well. And then we use a soft tip. So again, we're getting smaller on the tips as we go. And when we flow through this, we're going to go right into using sharper tips. And you can see the same way with the outside of the panel. And we start off using a soft tip knockdown, maybe that big rubber ball that's on the end of the hammer that I had earlier. And then we're using a soft tip. And then eventually we're going to get to the point where we're going to begin dialing it in with a polished metal tip and a sharper nylon knockdown.